Hello and welcome all of you to my channel Omni Bio Entrance, and today we will be seeing University of Hyderabad MSc Entrance examination conducted for the subject Animal Biotechnology, conducted in the year 2010. So coming to the first question, ninhydrin test is given by. So ninhydrin test is given by proteins. So answer is option B, proteins. Which immunoglobulin is the principal one found in secretions such as milk? So you will find IgG in secretions such as milk. Non-proliferative phase of cell cycle is. So the G0 phase or the resting phase is a period in the cell cycle in which the cells exist in a quiescent state. G0 phase is viewed as either an extended G1 phase where the cell is neither dividing nor preparing to divide, or a distinct quiescent stage that occurs outside of the cell cycle. So non-proliferative phase of the cell cycle is G1 to G0. Then Leucosolenia is an example of which class of phylum Porifera? So it is an example of Calcispongiae. Option C. Then next question. 12 gram of alkaline earth metal gives 14.8 gram of its nitride. Atomic weight of that metal is. So let the metal be M and atomic weight be X. So 3M plus N2 give M3N2. So 3X is equal to 3X plus, we know the molecular weight of N2 as 28. So 12 by 3X. So 12 is 12 gram of alkaline earth metal. So 12 by 3X is equal to 14.8. So 14.8 divided by 3X plus 28. So X is equal to 40. And the metal is calcium and its nitride is Ca3N2. So the answer is option C, 40. Then next one. What form of nucleotide represents the major currency of cell? So it is ATP or adenosine 5' triphosphate. Answer is option A. At physiological pH, the carboxyl and amino groups in an amino acid are in which of the following form? So they exist as minus COO, COO minus and NH3 plus. Answer is option D. Which of the following animals reproduce asexually by fragmentation? So this kind of reproduction is carried out by sponges. Answer is option B. Removal of bursa of fabricus in the chick results in. So it results in low serum level of antibodies because they are involved in the formation and development of antibodies in birds. That is bursa of fabricus. It is where the bee cells mature and develop. So low serum level of antibodies will be found if there is removal of bursa of fabricus in birds. Next question. Which of the following does not secrete steroid hormones? So the steroid hormones are not secreted by pituitary. All the others secrete steroid hormone. Ovary, estrogen, testis, androgens, corpus luteum, it will be progesterone. They are all steroids. The enzyme which use the energy of ATP hydrolysis to move into and melt double-stranded DNA they are called as DNA helicases. They melt double-stranded DNA means that they separate the two strands of the DNA. Calcitonin is secreted by. It is secreted by parafollicular cells of thyroid. Answer is option B. Then next one. Conversion of sugar, that is C12H22O11 to carbon dioxide is. So it is the process called as oxidation. Answer is option A. A mixture of red and blue ink can be separated by. So that can be separated by chromatography. Then the tertiary structure of a protein refers to. It refers to the unique three-dimensional folding of the molecule. Sequence of amino acid is primary structure. Presence of alpha helices and beta sheets is secondary structure. And interaction of a protein with other subunits or enzyme is tertiary structure. The satiety factors that regulate food intake is leptin. Answer is option B. The atomic weight and atomic number of an element are A and Z respectively. The number of neutrons in the atom of that element. That will be atomic weight minus the atomic number of the element, that is A minus Z, and the answer is option D. Susceptibility to duodenal ulcers is increased by the infection of the bacterium. It is caused by bacterium Helicobacter pylori. Cholecystokinin is secreted by the duodenum. The plants which produce only pollen or ovules are called as dioecious plants. Option C. The next one. The molarity of a solution containing 5.844 gram of NaCl in 100 ml is. So we have got a formula for calculating molarity, that is molarity is equal to 1000 Wb by Mb into V, where Wb is the mass of the substance, Mb is molecular weight of the substance, V is the volume in ml. So 1000 into 5.844 by 58.44 into 100, you will get it as 1 molar after substituting in the formula. So answer is option B. The next one. The ability to hum a tune or recall a beautiful sunset in Kanyakumari is a function of the temporal lobe of the brain. So answer is option C. Which of the following terms does not refer to an example of a weak force of interaction between two biological molecules? So covalent bonds are more stronger than these other bonds, that is electrostatic, hydrophobic and hydrogen. So they are not an example of weak force of interaction. Then carbon dioxide is mainly transported in the blood in one of the following forms, that is as bicarbonate. Answer is option D. Next one. An enzyme acts by decreasing the pH, increasing the pH, reducing the energy of activation, increasing the energy of activation. So answer is option C. It reduces the energy of activation. Then coenzymes FMN and FAD are derived from vitamin B2. So answer is option D. Vitamin B2 is riboflavin. The next one. Glucose is oxidized in the dash of cell. Glucose is oxidized in the mitochondria of cells. The next one. Storage of acetylcholine in the brain is associated with. So it is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Answer is option B. In animals, the nervous system is derived from. The nervous system is derived from the ectoderm. Answer is option A. Then regression of an amphibian tail, regression of an amphibian tail is under the influence of. So it is under the influence of the hormone thyroxine. Answer is option B. All of the following are true with respect to IgE molecules except they are principal immunoglobulin class involved in allergic reaction. That is true. They are involved in mediating antiparasitic immune responses. That is also true. They will cross the placenta and fix the complement. IgE doesn't cross the placenta. It is IgG that crosses the placenta. They can stimulate the release of histamine. That is also true. So they will cross the placenta and fix complement is not a characteristic of IgE molecules. So option C is the correct answer. Then next one. Which of the following is an essential amino acid? Answer is option B, that is threonine. The amino acid sequence of a peptide QWED is. So they have given the bioinformatic codes or code for each particular amino acid. So Q stands for glutamine, W stands for tryptophan, E stands for glutamate, and D stands for aspartate. So answer is option C. Then the percentage of oxygen in NaOH is. So molar mass of NaOH is 40, that is 23 for Na, O is 16 and 1 for hydrogen, and it will totally give up to 40. Then percentage composition of oxygen is equal to 16 by 40 into 100, that is 40%. So the percentage of composition of oxygen in NaOH is 40%. Answer is option A, 40. Then biological oxidation in Krebs cycle involves. It involves oxygen. Answer is option C. Cyanide blocks the electron transport chain at. It blocks electron transport chain at cytochrome C. That is option C. The metal that can be extracted directly from sea water is. It is magnesium. Answer is option B. Which of the following elements occur free in nature? So the element which occur free in nature is nitrogen. Option B. Flight or fight response is associated with. It is associated with catecholamines. When delta G is negative, the reaction is exothermic. Answer is option A. Which of the following states that no two species can occupy the same niches indefinitely when the resources are limiting? So this is Gauss's law of competitive exclusion or principle of competitive exclusion. So answer is option C. The vector responsible for the transmission of Kala-Azar rays, it is sandfly. Answer is option B. The loss of electron by a molecule is called. It is called as oxidation. Loss of electron is an oxidation. Then white, fast twitch fibers differ from the red, slow twitch fibers in having. So these are the muscle fibers, and white and red fibers, they differ from each other by having a relatively small number of mitochondria and high ATPase activity. So white fibers, they have relatively small number of mitochondria and high ATPase activity. So answer is option C. Unsaturated fatty acid is present abundantly in. It is present abundantly in fish. Nitrous oxide when inhaled in large quantity is fatal as it is a because it causes brain anoxia. Answer is option C. Then T vector cloning for a PCR product requires. It requires Taq DNA polymerase. Answer is option D. Tay-Sachs disease has clinical impact solely on. Tay-Sachs disease has clinical impact solely on the brain. Answer is option C. Hydrophobic interactions are exhibited by. Hydrophobic interactions are exhibited by non-polar molecules. So answer is option D. Which of the following genotypes would produce largest variety of gametes if the alleles get assorted independently? So the one which is having more number of heterozygous individuals, it will produce largest variety of gametes. So out of these, this has only two heterozygous individuals. Here only one is there. Here all are homozygous, and here three heterozygous individuals are there. That is A, capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital D, small d. So answer is option C. Ca2 plus released in response to a stimulus in the skeletal muscle binds to. So Ca2 plus, it will bind to troponin. Answer is option A. The key enzyme involved in gluconeogenesis is. It is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase. Answer is option C. The most serious and fatal form of anthrax is. It is pulmonary anthrax. Answer is option A. A microbial culture started with 5 cells and reached to a density of 160 cells. How many generations did the cell go through assuming no cell death occurred? So for calculating this, we have a formula N is equal to N0 2 raised to N. N is the final number of cell, the density which was attained at last. N0 is the initial number. So 160 is equal to 5 into 2 raised to N. N is the number of the small n, 2 raised to N. The small n is the number of generation. So 2 raised to N. So 160 divided by 5 is equal to 32. That is, it can be written as 2 raised to 5. So N is equal to 5. So answer is option A. Then next one. Which DNA polymerase in eukaryotes is involved in Okazaki fragment synthesis after removal of the RNA primer? So in eukaryotes, it is DNA polymerase delta that is involved. Which of the following is considered to be a fibrous protein? So it is keratin that is considered to be a fibrous protein. Where does endogenous fatty acid synthesis occur in humans? It occurs in the adipose tissue. Answer is option C. Then next one. The extraembryonic membrane that gives protection to the developing embryo from shocks is? It is amnion. Answer is option D. Which one of the following statement is correct with reference to ovo-VV parity? So ovo-VV parity is seen in a variety of aquatic forms, that is reptiles and invertebrates. So that is the correct statement with reference to ovo-VV parity. Option D. Which cellular structure in animal cells contain high amount of cholesterol? So it is present in cellular or plasma membrane. Answer is option A. Adrenaline is produced by adrenal medulla is A. So what kind of hormone it is? It is an amine. So answer is option B, amines. Electron microscopes have greater resolving power than light microscope because the wavelength of electron is much shorter than the wavelength of visible light. That is why they have greater resolving power than light microscopes. Then, in certain plants, the embryos in the seed may be produced asexually from the parent plant, which is known as apomixis. Answer is option D. Athletes get muscle cramps due to dehydration. Answer is option D. The urea cycle occurs in the mitochondria and cytoplasm. Answer option A. Next one. Spermatogenesis occurs in the seminiferous tubules. Answer is option D. Superphosphate used as a fertilizer is calcium dihydrogen phosphate. Answer is option C. In the treatment of asthma, the gases used are a mixture of helium and oxygen. Answer is option A. Then next one. Assuming the half-life of a substance is 5 days, what will be the amount of substance left after 15 days if the initial amount is 64 grams? So half-life of a substance is the time in which the substance is reduced to 1/2 of its initial value. So here the amount of substance will be reduced by 1/2 after a half-life period. So half-life of the substance, they have given it as 5 days. The initial amount of substance is 64 grams. So we have to calculate, assuming the half-life of a substance is 5 days, how much amount will be left after 15 days. So after 5 days, the amount of substance will be reduced to half. So 64 divided by 2, that is 32 grams. Again after 10 days, that is next 5 days. So 5 plus 5, 10 days. 32 gram will be reduced to half. That is, we get 16 grams. Again after next 5 days, that is 15 days. Totally 15 days. The amount of substance will be further reduced to half of 16 gram. That is 8. So the answer is after 15 days, the amount of substance will be 8 grams. Answer is option C. Then in humans, the Barr body is an inactive X chromosome in females. Then dry ice it is solid carbon dioxide. Answer is option C. Treatment of root tip meristem cells with the microtubule inhibitor colchicine results in all of the following except cessation of DNA replication. So answer is option D. If you treat a root stem tip with colchicine is for induction of polyploidy. It will inhibit the spindle fiber formation. So induction of polyploidy, that is true. Prevention of cytokinesis, that is also true. And inhibition of mitotic spindle assembly, that is also true. So answer will be cessation of DNA replication. The DNA replication colchicine has got nothing to do with DNA replication. So answer is option D. A silent mutation in a gene results in no change in the amino acid sequence of the protein. Answer is option. Then the descent of man was done by Charles Darwin. Then nucleides having the same atomic number are known as isomers. Answer is option A. Two proteins of molecular masses 120 kDa and 25 kDa can be easily separated by. So they are different molecular mass. One is much higher, that is 120 kDa, and the other is much smaller, that is 25 kDa. So we can separate two such proteins which differ so drastically in molecular mass by size exclusion chromatography. Answer is option A. What process is used to convert vegetable oils into margarine and other semi-solid or semi-solid vegetable shortenings? So catalytic hydrogenation is the answer. Answer is option C. The next one. Compound tubular glands found in the duodenum are known as Brunner's gland. Answer is option A. 90 gram of water is equivalent to dash moles. So we have 90 gram of water. So we have 19 by 18. So that will be 5 moles of water. So 18 is the molecular mass of water. So 90 divided by 18, you will get 5 moles of water. So answer is option C. Proteins synthesized by the rough endoplasmic reticulum are. So they are exported from the cell. Answer is option D. Heavy water is D2, deuterium oxide. Answer is option B. The most reactive form of carbon is charcoal. Answer is option D. What is the calorific value of a protein meal per gram? So that is 4. Answer is option B. Cholesterol that is present in the blood serum is closely associated with. So it is associated with hardening of arteries. In which of the following class of subphylum Mandibulata the head bears maxillae that are fused to form a plate-like structure called the gnathociliarium? That is in the case of option D, that is Diplopoda. Then which has maximum number of molecules? So 1 mole of any element contains 6.023 into 10 raised to 23 number of molecules. So that is the Avogadro number. So 1 gram of oxygen, if we take, it has 32 gram of oxygen. So 16 gram of oxygen will have 16 divided by 2, that is 0.5 gram mole of oxygen. Similarly, 1 gram mole of nitrogen will have 28 grams of nitrogen. So 7 grams of nitrogen will have 0.25 gram mole of nitrogen. Then 1 gram of hydrogen will be equal to 2 grams of hydrogen. So 2 gram of hydrogen is 1 mole hydrogen. 1 gram mole of NO2 is equal to 46 grams. So 16 gram of NO2 will be 0.35 moles. So out of all these 4 options, which is the having the maximum value, that is 1 mole of 1 gram 2 grams of hydrogen. So answer is option C. Next one. The larvae of mosquito are example of Newton. Answer is option B. Sulfuric acid cannot be used. Sulfuric acid cannot be used in white paints. Answer is option C. Which of the following cell compartment is associated with a protein skeleton composed of lamins? So that is the basement membrane. Answer is option A. Which of the following amino acid does not undergo phosphorylation? So it is alanine that does not undergo phosphorylation out of these 4 options. Transmembrane secreted from forms of immunoglobulins are generated from the same heavy chain by. So it is done by alternative splicing of mRNA transcript. Which of the following protein is not part of the nucleosome? H1 is not a part of the nucleosome. It is a linker protein. Then a patient with Klinefelter syndrome will have the following chromosomes. So it will be XXY and 44 number. So answer is option B. Characteristics that have arisen as a result of common evolutionary descent are said to be. So the common they have derived from a common ancestor. They are homologs. So answer is option B. Lipopolysaccharide, a potent inducer of cytokinin synthesis, is. It is an endotoxin released by gram-negative bacteria. So answer is option A. The DNA from bacteriophage X174 has a base composition of 23% A, 32% T, 30% G and 15% C. Which of the following best describes the phenomena? That is, the genome, or since A is not equal to T and neither is G equal to C. So it is naturally a single-stranded DNA. So the genome of bacteriophage X174 is single-stranded is the answer. A second mutation in the same gene restores the wild-type phenotype. This is known as intragenic suppression. Answer is option D. Now, when the alleles A, this should be capital A, I think. It might be a printing mistake. So, when the alleles of capital A and small a conform to Hardy-Weinberg expectation, and if the frequency of small a is 0.3, which of the following will be the most common genotype in the population? So they have given P plus Q is equal to 1 and they have given the value of Q, that is frequency of the recessive allele, or small a, that is 0.3. So P plus 0.3 is equal to 1 and we get the value of P as 0.7. We also know that P plus Q the whole square is equal to P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. So from that, if we calculate the value of the heterozygous individual, that is A, that is 2PQ, you get 2 into 0.7 into 0.3, that is 0.42. Now for P square, that is homozygous individual, P square is equal to 0.7 into 0.7, that is 0.49, and small a, that is Q square, it is 0.3 into 0.3, that is 0.09. So which is having maximum? That is capital A, capital A. So answer will be option C. Then, while expressing a eukaryotic gene in bacteria, cDNA is used rather than genomic DNA because most eukaryotic genes have introns and they cannot be removed in bacteria. Bacteria doesn't have the machinery for removing introns. So and eukaryotic genes will be having introns. So if you provide them with cDNA, they will have only exons, and it can utilize the bacterial machinery to synthesize proteins. So the answer is option D. So thank you for watching my channel. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.